So the big question is this: how do investors like us who trade options and manage our own money generate income regardless of where the stock market goes, and do it all in a way that lets us make time for the people and things we love, and yet still build wealth and remain profitable? That's the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. I'm your host, Kirk Duplessis, and you're listening to The Daily Call from Option Alpha. Hey everyone, Kirk here again, and welcome back to The Daily Call. On today's call, we're going to talk about the one thing that you have to do if you want to grow your portfolio faster with options. This is probably a hard concept for some of you because I know the type of person that you might be. If you're listening to this podcast, you're usually well educated, you're usually well motivated, you've got a lot of high ambition. You're very much probably like me because you're listening to this and you've gone this far in our training or in our courses, etc., right? But here's what you've got to do. And this is what a lot of people I think still miss in this business, or really just in life in general, in any area that you want to interchange options trading in. But you've got to slow down to speed up. And that's a hard concept to understand. And so I want to try to explain it maybe with an analogy that might help out, or with a kind of like a little case study. But back in school, what we learned all the time is, and you often do learn this, is that the assembly process or the assembly line is usually the most efficient. So you connect part A to part B, then you move on, you connect B to C, etc. And what people often do is they try to batch a lot of their stuff. And this is a problem because what happens when you batch, and let me explain what batching is. Batching is you connect part A and B together and you do it 100 times, right? So instead of working through the entire process of, let's say, building a widget from start to finish once, all you do is connect part A to B 100 times. So if you've got 100 widgets you want to basically build, most people would say, okay, connect part A and B and do it for all of the widgets, then move on to the next step and do step 2 for everything, then do step 3 for everything, right? So you batch these little processes or these little workflows together. The problem with that, and most people assume that would go a lot faster, the problem with that is that if you make a mistake later on, you have wasted time connecting part A and B, and maybe that wasn't the right thing that you should have done. Maybe there was a tweak to how you should connect it that you never really realized would happen until later on, right? That if you actually work through like the process of building the widget, you would have figured out later on that maybe connecting part A and B should have required more glue or should have required a tweak to how you did it. But now you've got 100 things that you have to go back and redo. Does that make sense with that whole batching process? So this is why people, I think, are not successful for the most part with trading options, because what they end up doing is they end up trying to batch a lot of their education into very, very tight periods of time. They try to learn and cram all this stuff in, like, okay, I got to do this, right? And they try to do this whole system of training and education in a very short period of time. And what they're really trying to do is just check boxes. And checking the box only gets you so far. Like, I completed this only gets you so far. It's not about completion. It's about understanding. Did you understand what you actually were trying to complete in that course or that video or that trade example, right? Like, what was the lesson in there? What was the takeaway? What's something that you don't understand that you still have to maybe slow down and understand before you can move forward and go faster? So the end result here is that when you're actually in the example of building out widgets, if you need to build out 100 widgets, it's actually faster initially to slow down and build 1 or 2 or 5 widgets all the way through to completion to make sure that you've got your process down and it's pat and it's streamlined and easy. There's no hiccups. You can get all the way to completion. And by doing that, you build less widgets initially, meaning you are not as fast as the other person who's doing all this batching of their, they look like they have more activity because they've got 100 parts connected for step 1. And you're just still completing that first widget all the way through the process, right? But what ends up happening is you end up catching up to them because they have to go back and adjust. They have to go back and tweak or undo or redo all of the widgets that they built. And I constantly see this all the time. I see people who just rush through all the training and they email me and they're like, Kirk, I completed all the training in a week. And I'm like, there is no way you completed all that in a week. Like, you might have checked all the boxes, you might have clicked through all the videos, but you didn't retain anything in 1 week. That's like getting a college education in 1 week. It just doesn't happen, right? So you have to slow down in this business if you want to speed up. You have to be the tortoise, the turtle, however, whatever analogy you want to use, because you have to understand a concept before you move forward. What I always tell coaching clients when I get on the phone with them, and I get on the phone with a lot of people and they end up talking really, really fast and they're really excited, and I get that, but they go through concepts and I take a step back. I'm like, wait, okay, so let me make sure you understand what that is. So again, explain what delta is to me, right? And they really can't even explain it sometimes, or whatever the concept is that we're talking about. And so what I think you should do in your options trading, if you want to grow your portfolio faster, is slow down, really understand a concept, then move forward to the next concept. And it might take you, for some concepts, a week, right? Like, here's a concept that you should really understand. You should really understand how our edge works in the market with implied volatility. That's a hard concept to understand. You can't learn that in one single video and just check the box. It might take 4 or 5 different videos. It might take a couple examples, watching a webinar about it. But then once you understand that concept and you really master it, then everything else can kind of fall into place. So then you can check that box and move on to the next one, right? And so it might feel like you're not going as fast, but believe me, when you understand and master some of these concepts, or really anything in trading or anything in life, and you really understand them, then you can move on to the next thing. You don't have to backpedal. And that's what kills people, is the backpedaling to re-understand something that they thought they learned previously. So hopefully this helps out today and kind of getting you again on the right path and understanding how you can use not only training and education, but this like thought process of working through these workflows can help you get to where you want to go just a little bit faster. So as always, if you guys have any comments or questions, let me know. And until next time, happy trading. Thanks for joining us on the Daily Call. Be sure to subscribe right now for more daily options trading ideas, strategies, and tactics to help you learn how to place smarter, more profitable trades. And if you like what we're doing, don't forget to give us a rating and a review so we can continue to bring you the best daily content possible. We'll see you again tomorrow, right here on the Daily Call from OptionAlpha.com.